about the clock of all people tanking 1 minute 30 seconds, all hands.
They were tanking like 3-4 minutes on the clock, then another 5 minutes on the
Can start to clock you.
No one called clock.
All hands. I'm called the.
I didn't call the clock on anyone. I'm short stack. I could have called the clock on anyone 5 times.
45.
Schwartzberg's ace-10 suited.
You think you're funny? You're going to count down while I'm thinking. You're going to count down. So this is how you're going to be. You think you're funny.
Opens, gets flattered by hollowed sixes.
And you call clock and you think it's reasonable after 35 seconds. Yeah, okay. You clearly...
You know, because a lot of the Kassouf stuff is shtick, but he seems genuinely tilted now.
He's doing it to himself.
Well,
You know,
Whatever it may be.
Do you want some water? I think you need to cool off. Don't worry. There you go.
You know, I love the way Padelia's handling this, by the way.
Why it's so hot here? Ooh. Get it hot. Yep. Cocktails. Get some water here. I think everyone's steaming. They need to cool off. Don't know why.
I think you do.
This guy is irritating the whole table.
I found it. He's calling the clock on me.
Just need to keep quiet.
He's calling the clock after 35 seconds. I said, you called the clock on me? He said, yeah, it's been 35 seconds. I said, you think 35 seconds is reasonable? He said, yes. I said, have you called the clock on anyone else after 35 seconds? He said, no. Just you. He said, singling me out, calling the clock on me for a 2.5. I've got 7 big blinds, and he's calling the clock, and he said, it's been 35 seconds. And he thinks that's reasonable. Right?
All
So
people,
I want
all people playing bad and
it has to
sometimes
be 2 minutes.
take a time.
And I'm supposed to check.
All
Be
hands
safe, right?
30, 40.
Right? And they're calling at 30 seconds, they're calling the clock on me. I got 7 big blinds for my 12 blind, Jason. They have a $10 million, 35 seconds.
Can we first play his hands?
No one would call a clock on any other player after 35 seconds. For a fact.
We just need to for him to stay quiet while
And
we
you think
play.
it's reasonable to call a clock on me after 35 seconds. They think that's fun. It has to be fair and reasonable. I've not called a clock on anyone in the whole tournament. And they're tanking for 5 minutes, staring each other down. They think that's good for poker. Staring each other down, saying nothing. I don't call a clock. I'm with them. I call a clock every single hand. I haven't called a clock once.
The ace high flop is good for Schwartzberg.
He wouldn't know who to call a clock on anyone else.
Key cards for Kenny.
That's the point. Please, stop talking. Please stop talking. I'm speaking to Jason. Please be quiet. Please be quiet.
You be quiet.
Please shut your mouth when I'm talking. Thank you.
My
And
goodness.
So, the point is, they're calling the clock on me after 35 seconds. And he admitted it's been 35 seconds. He thinks that's reasonable. For me, I said the question, do you think, would you call the clock off 35 seconds and anyone else? He said, no, just you. So that he's literally bullying. They're bullying, they're saying just against me, they call the clock every single time after 30 seconds. Everyone else can have 2, 3 minutes tanking, and no one calls the clock. No one. They're tanking forever. Even pre-flop, post-flop. Jason, listen.
You know, Nick, I'm not religious myself. As long as I've known you, I've not known you to be religious either. Which means that I've not delved into the Bible. But certainly, the good Lord has to have offered some sort of parable at some point that addresses specifically the sort of phenomenon that we're encountering here
Call the clock 35 seconds.
to help guide us, perhaps, in these moments.
No, you think you're funny. Call the clock on me 35 seconds, but you don't call clock on anyone else. Just because it's me, you want to call clock on me 35 seconds. I've got 7 big blinds on one line.
Tank a lot the whole time. All hands.
What's that? If it's been reasonable, it's 2 minutes, call the clock. That's fair. But not 35 seconds. Exactly, they're acting like a little girl. You're a child.
Right.
I said, you're crying. You're losing it. I see it in your eyes.
Yeah, you losing.
I see it in your eyes. Your balls are shrinking by
All people losing.
absolutely steaming. I see it. Do you want some water? I'll get you some water, bro. I'll get some water. Cocktails. Can we get some water? Can we get 8 bottles of water? Everyone is steaming here. Absolutely steaming. They're livid. They're calling the clock on me after 30 seconds. Cocktails.
I want to ask a genuine question of you, Nick, because you had a moment this summer where you had to deal with a character yourself.
Are you steaming?
By the way, curious if Kenny feels compelled to do something here.
Wake up then. Let's have a round of cocktails. On me.
Target things like 9, 9, 10, 10. I'm listening, Ali, but
It did go check, check, flop, and turn for the record.
Milk and cream, half and half.
if
I'm
Schwartzberg
very
blocks,
It's on me. Do you guys want? Would you
or
like one?
checks, or goes bigger for that matter, does Kenny feel compelled to turn these 6s into a bluff?
The cocktail guys here, I know you're steaming.
Maybe.
You guys want a bottle of water? Any of you? Would you like
Wow,
one?
Schwartzberg.
Anyone else want a bottle of water? It's on me. It tastes better when it's free. Would you like one?
I thought I saw the motion for a check there. Was I mistaken?
He did check it over to Kenny, and for Kenny, obviously a bet
Oh, you dump me up.
targets 7, 7, 9, 9, 10, 10, Jack, Jack, even something like Queen 10 of hearts, perhaps.
2 bottles.
There are a variety of hands that are uncomfortable in the face of bet, and I feel like we probably don't win if we check. Good choice from Hallard.